And it's not the police officers that were half a mile back trying to keep these guys from going into a community and taking hostages so that they wouldn't be apprehended. You know, this is, police work is tough business.
All right. Does the city budgeting process require the LAPD to pay for the utilities out of your department's budget?
No.
Okay. Okay. This is from Mr. Croman. Cops hiding behind buildings, gas stations, behind cars and trucks. These are deceptive practices. If you want to slow cars, keep them from making illegal right turns, etc. Why not make cop cars more visible so that people don't get tagged for heavy fines? More traffics don't make cop villains. Use them fairly. I guess that's a statement, not a question.
I think I sense a recent ticket. You know, nobody likes getting traffic citations. I've certainly gotten a couple in my life. I'm sure there's, if I ask for a show of hands, there's other people in here that have gotten them too. Nobody likes it. Everybody thinks that, why did it have to be me? Everybody else is driving like maniacs around here. But think about what we've done in Los Angeles. Anybody, if you travel and you go to other cities, they drive like crazy people. You know, you go to the East Coast, or heaven forbid to out of the United States, you know, there are no standards of behavior for operating a motor vehicle. Never mind if you're a pedestrian. But what we've managed to do in Los Angeles is we actually are pretty civil with each other. That's an amazing thing, and it's a kind of a compact between the police and all of the folks in this room that, hey, you know, we'll treat each other with respect on the road, and we won't act like we're in some kind of cocoon where we can hate each other. So I apologize to people that get traffic citations. I'm sorry you had to be the one. But think about how this, you know, semi-general reminder keeps millions of people safe. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, when you try to, every time, and this job I don't travel much, but my last job when I was chief of detectives, I traveled quite a bit, particularly on the East Coast, and I couldn't believe the way they drove. And the only difference I can see is that we have a standard of behavior here that gets enforced, and they don't.
Okay. This is from Rose Murray. As a social service provider who frequently works with youth and young adults transitioning out of gangs and into the mainstream society, I'd like to know how you see the relationship between police and gang intervention programs, including programs in tattoo removal and job lifestyle counseling, such as the agency I head.
Well, you know, anybody that's familiar with my history knows I'm a big fan of a four-tiered approach to reducing gang violence. I believe in keeping kids out of gangs, that's gang prevention. I believe on affecting the behavior of people within gangs, that's gang intervention, either through casework or through anger management or through violence interruption or through peacemaking. All those are all things that intervention workers do. I've been a champion of professionalizing intervention. We just had our first Gang Intervention Academy graduation. It was something that I created or helped create when I was the chief in South Bureau. Big fan of it. I also believe in reentry programs, but overall, I believe in what I do, which is prevention. And you know, prevention is the key piece in reducing gang violence, but it takes the other pieces also. So I believe in intervention work when it's done correctly. I think that it's something that we need to standardize and professionalize to a greater degree so that municipalities or counties or states can feel comfortable funding it, so they don't feel that they're at risk of being embarrassed by lawless acts by intervention workers. But I have to remind everybody that I have an extremely rigorous selection process It takes background. Usually it takes over a year before you even get in the police academy, and then you go through 6 months in the police academy. You're on probation for a year after that, and I still get police officers that break the law and that I have to fire because they behave badly. So it certainly is not unique to intervention workers. We're all one of the great quotes from Chief Parker was that the only problem with police officers is that you have to recruit them from the human race, and that's accurate in every profession.
Okay, this is not a question. This is a statement from Wilma. For 10 years, my property has been vandalized and items stolen repeatedly. Frequently, the police refused to even write a report. Recently, when it happened, you sent a helicopter, took a report, and I took a copy of my surveillance tapes. Thanks for the change in policy. I sleep better. It's all your work.
Well, yeah, when they woke me up to ask about sending that helicopter, but I asked for the writer there to talk to Captain Morris, to talk to the senior lead officers. That if you see a change in the way you were treated, thank them. They respond very well to positive reinforcement. Believe me.
It's because George is here now instead of Nate. No, I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. I'm not going to say who this is from because this person should know this answer, so I don't want to embarrass him or her. But what can be done about vagrants who sleep in parking lots or alleys?
Well, that is the bread and butter of a senior lead officer. I was the area captain at both Central and Rampart, were areas of the city that have huge issues with that. And the way to combat that is to work with your senior lead officer. There is constant enforcement of standards. That's a quality of life issue. I mean, obviously it can evolve into a violent crime issue, but it's on its face quality of life issue. That takes constant reinforcement. It takes a partnership with the police department. It may take some environmental changes, lighting changes, things like that, but your senior lead officer can work with you on that. And so everybody here, I hope everybody here knows who their senior leads are. If you don't, it's on the website. You can call your station and ask them, get a relationship going. That's how you fix that.
Okay. Now this is not my question, so this is from Anonymous, number 1. And I can't read a lot of it, but some of it I can read. So it says, when you were selected as chief, you were referred to as a cop's cop. Then it says, does this mean that you're going back to the old shoot first, ask questions later mentality? And well, I can't read the rest of it.
People ask me that because once in a while they'll call me cop's cop, and that's kind of like the nickname Rocky. You just can't give it to yourself. You'll have to ask somebody else if that's what they think I am. I can't. I'm not the one that can call myself.
Okay. Bruce asks, will gangs ever be broken down for the good of in Los Angeles?
Well, see, I don't know the answer to that question. What I can tell you is this, is that we've really made remarkable progress in reducing gang violence. And I think in my lifetime, probably, not just my time as chief of police, that's got to be our goal, is reduce gang violence. The absolute existence of gangs, I think that's maybe the next, maybe that's my son's job, to make that change. I'd be satisfied if we can reduce gang violence. And we've done a great job of that. I think through intervention programs and prevention programs, we've been able to make a significant impact. That's what I focus on. I try to have goals that are realistic, goals that we can